A former UNLV football player murdered in Las Vegas 40 years ago, and his killer is now on the run.
In this Manhunt Monday, 8 News Now investigator Vanessa Murphy has more on the search and the son who is on a mission to find his dad's killer.
The violence erupted here at the front entrance of the popular night spot.
September 9th, 1984.
Police describe a melee that followed the shooting.
This was the brewery on Paradise, just a few blocks from the Las Vegas Strip.
What is known is that several gunshots were fired, and the assailant was beaten severely by patrons of the brewery.
The assailant, Mario DeLaura. The victim, a former UNLV football player.
Before the night was over, doorman Randy Rizzo was shot dead.
I was 5 years old.
This is Rizzo's son.
Do you remember your dad?
Yeah, bits and pieces, mainly all just from pictures, though. He played football, so I, for some reason, always remember, doing stuff like that with him when I was, little.
He asked us to protect his identity by only using his first name of William, because 40 years later, DeLaura is considered a fugitive. William says he learned this after a bad dream.
We looked him up, a while ago, and I was like, okay, he's in prison. You feel a little bit safer. And then I had a nightmare, and then I started looking into it. I want to say 2015, I started, contacting the probation board and trying to get information. And that's when they said, he absconded from his, probation.
Key witnesses told jurors that it was this man.
Back in the 80s, DeLaura went on trial for murder. Here he is with jurors visiting the crime scene.
We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder with use of a deadly weapon.
He received a life sentence, was granted parole in 2005, had a parole violation hearing in 2009, and was released back on parole later that year, the parole board tells the 8 News Now investigators. Part of parole includes checking in, following rules, and staying out of trouble. By 2016, DeLaura wasn't complying, and a warrant was issued for his arrest.
Does he know you're looking for him?
Well, as of our social media posts, potentially, I believe so.
Carlos Perez is the warrants and extraditions supervisor for Nevada State Police.
Mr. DeLaura was more or less a model parolee for 10 years. He appeared to be turned his life around. He was engaged in community events. He was known on the community for different things to include, I believe he had a Braille certification. So he was assisting folks who obviously had limitations with their vision. Him and his wife were avid dog folks, and they had invested in some dog parks and things like that. So they're community members. And then just for him to up and disappear is a little unusual, most certainly.
He says his team received word DeLaura has ties to Las Vegas and Mesquite, but then also may have fled to Cuba or Mexico, and he has aliases.
One of them specifically was Jose Manuel Valenzuela. He would use Mario DeLaura or Gennaro DeLaura. Or Mario Lara.
William doing his own digging, finding ties to a motorcycle club and this Facebook page showing DeLaura died. But investigators have no confirmation that's true.
So your guess is he may have faked his own death?
Anything could be possible.
How dangerous do you think he may be?
I believe he should definitely be considered dangerous. I mean, given the nature of his conviction and there being a retake warrant out for his arrest from the Nevada Parole Board, everybody, including the public, should consider him dangerous.
That's why William asked us to protect his identity.
I would just love to see him dragged from wherever he's at, put back in a cell. That's the main goal. If he's alive.
As he tries to help track down his father's killer and still cope with the tragedy.
I bury it, and then it pops up, and then now it's been popping up, because I have children of my own, and they're always asking, about, where's Grandpa at? What happened to him? Then you got to explain it in a child-safe version. No matter how much you bury it, it still finds its way to the surface.
Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
So if you have any knowledge about DeLaura's whereabouts, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers or Nevada State Police. And we have more information on how to do that at 8newsnow.com.